My name is Ursula Darby. I am a public speaker, a certified grief educator, and a psychic medium. And I've been on the front line of grief, spirit, and survival for over 21 years. And I'm also a former stand up comedian. This podcast tells the truth about this work, how it started for me, what it's really like, and the parts that no one will say aloud. I'm a skeptic. I hate cliches and the garbage that is in this industry. You won't get that here. You'll get clarity, honesty, perspective that's human and real. So, this is episode 3. Last episode, I talked about striking up a friend with someone, and this friend telling me how they were psychic. And like I said, you couldn't go at the time. I didn't know, find books. I mean, if you're going to find books, I guess I could have found books on being psychic because that word sounded more familiar than what the other thing is that I've been experiencing all along. Some of you can probably name it. Some of you might not know. So this friend was really flamboyant, and when she talked about being psychic, she used a lot of language that I can't fucking stand to this day. She might be the inspiration behind my anger of the bullshit language used in this industry. I think she is. Yeah, I really think she is. She would speak in riddles and she would use words that I'd never heard before. So I think I literally bought a thesaurus to figure out what the fuck she was talking about. And she would use language that I wasn't familiar with. And she would talk about, if you're doing this other thing, that this way to elevate, and this is how you can ascend and if you just push your energy into the space to do it. What the fuck are you talking about? And I never said that to her. I never said, what the fuck are you talking about? I never questioned her on her experiences because who the fuck am I? What the hell do I know? What the hell do I know about what she's talking about? Because I can't do the things she's sharing. The descriptions she would use didn't make sense to me. It wasn't descriptive. It wasn't in layman's terms. It wasn't, um, she purposefully chose language that I couldn't understand to elevate herself. And you know what? It fucking worked. I believed her. I believed what she said to me. I may not have known what she was talking about. I may not have been able to relate to it. And I think she started giving me books. Oh, if you read this book, then you'll know what this. And I would get the book from the library and flip through it and be like, what the fuck is she talking about? And because I just couldn't relate to any of it, I can't even think of the books, but I'm trying to recall the kinds of authors that would have been out then. Anyway, interesting. I just heard a name then. One of the names of the authors that would have been that she talked about. And I'm not here to pick authors apart or people apart in this industry. I'm here to educate you. I want to educate you so you can understand yourself and your own experiences. And I'm sharing what I've been through so you can kind of give it some perspective. And for me, my experiences happened just before I fell asleep, and I'd be woken up throughout the night and I would see, hear, feel, even smell perfume or cigarettes or like oil, like if someone worked in a garage, a mechanic smell like that, like anything that was relatable. Of course, I didn't know that then, but you could relate to a scent of some sort to connect to somebody maybe that they had worn. So I didn't recognize that it was that my senses that were on overload. I didn't put it together that way. And so this friend, I was enamored with them, enamored in a way because they were special. And they certainly made it clear to me they were fucking special. So I believed them. I believed them with what they said. I believed them that, that they were this fantastic intuitive and they could give lots of different readings. And she would pull out tarot cards, she would pull out oracle cards, and she would give readings, these fantastical, incredible readings. When I say fantastic, they weren't accurate. But I didn't say anything. The fuck did I know? What did I know? I didn't know anything. And because I was so scared for so long and I felt so insecure, I felt so uncomfortable. that I didn't question her, right? If your family tells you, shut the fuck up, you're making that up, they must be right. And I lived like that. And when she made these claims, I believed her because she would amp it up and she would, like I said, she was used language that wouldn't make sense to me. And I was just like, well, it must be pretty important if she's saying it that way. Like, I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to look it up on my thesaurus, just flip through my book and see what that is. And I I felt conflicted most of the time that I'd spent with her as our friendship kind of grew. And I felt conflicted because something didn't feel right about how she was speaking to me. Something didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable. Um, I had fun because she made things fun, but I'm also a pretty creative person. I like having a good laugh. Fuck, shit's funny to me. So if you're gonna go out there and do something big, well, like we had done plays together. Like she got me community theater. We're in as adults. Woohoo, let's do this thing. So like that kind of stuff. Other than that, though, her claims of being this strong intuitive and her dominating conversations over it, right? Dominating, but I didn't looking back now, I see it. I believed her. And I believed what she said, and I believed the bullshit that she doled out to me. And I ate it whole. I ate all of it. And I felt inferior because that was her plan. She was manipulative in a lot of different ways, but I didn't see it then. I didn't see what manipulation was. She was gaslighting me. This language that people weren't using. I just didn't know. And when someone's like that, and I'm not that way, I'm not going to necessarily recognize it right away. And I didn't. I just didn't. I believed her. So I'm going to talk about how our friendship transpired and how it affected me. And from there, though, I had moved away to college and I went out to a friend's house one night, went dancing. It was awesome. Fuck, I remember how much fun it was. I literally remember a lot of it. I was like, because God, it was, yeah, salsa, merengue, this bar downtown Toronto. God, it was just so much fun. I just had such a great time. And of course, we had a DD and I stayed over. And I had never stayed over at this friend's house before. And I was early 20s. I think I was 21 at the time. And it was her mom was in the house. Her dad had passed. I didn't know anything about him. She never spoke about him because this is a new friend. And it was her and her mom that were in the house and no one else. And so I slept in the spare room. And so I got ready for bed because I knew I was staying over and climbed into bed. And that feeling was there. I felt that presence. I felt that discomfort. I started to breathe really shallow. I didn't pull the sheets over my head in my early 20s. I just kind of froze though. And I didn't sleep because it's going to upset him. When I opened my eyes, there was a man standing at the foot of my bed, like 6 feet tall or more, broad shouldered. And he was yelling at me. He was saying, "Who are you? What are you doing in my house? What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here doing this. You shouldn't be staying here like this. You didn't talk to me first. What the hell is wrong with you?" And he was yelling and yelling and yelling, and he was pacing around the room and around my bed all night long. It obviously still affects me. The next morning when I got up, I walked into the kitchen and, I was dressed, ready to go home and stuff, and really shaken from what had happened from the night before. And my friend didn't know, and I didn't act any differently. I wasn't scared or upset, and I wasn't teary-eyed like I am now. Um, I sat down for breakfast, and I'm like, God, I don't know what happened. I don't know what that was. I still couldn't name it. I didn't know, but I had to ask. I had to know because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy. And that's not a word that I would toss around because it's completely fucking inappropriate, and I'm a mental health advocate. I really felt unstable. I felt like there was something wrong with me and I had to fix it and I had to make it go away. I had to make it stop. And no matter what, I couldn't make any of these experiences stop. No matter how often they happened, they didn't stop. So we were sat down for breakfast and we're just chatting away about the night before and how much fun it was and her friends and, what happened and her talking about her boyfriend. It's just what you do. And I'd said to her, I don't know if I blurted it out, but I remember saying, your dad died from a heart attack, didn't he? She kind of stopped conversation and everything kind of changed and the mood all changed because I'm fun like that. And she said, yeah. And I said, your dad was like about 6 feet tall, broad shouldered, dark hair. She's like, yeah. Because there weren't any pictures around of him. She never showed me who he was because we were new friends. I hadn't even been to her house before. And she just kind of looked at me and I said, did your dad have to meet everybody that came in your home, like growing up, like no matter what, like he was very protective of all of you. Like he basically would have to interview all of you. And she said, oh my gosh, yes, all the time. He was always like that. I said, like an authority. And she's like, yeah. And I said, kind of scary in presence, right? And she's like, well, yeah, to other people, he would be, yeah, yeah. And I said, oh, I said, I'm pretty sure I met your dad last night. And she looked at me and she's like, whatever. No, what are you talking about? Just no, 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 don't say stuff like that. And the friendship ended shortly after that, it ended. Like a lot of my friends, stuff would happen and I would tell them because I didn't know what it was because I was trying to make sense out of it. And we were never friends again. That happened a lot. You've been listening to Ursula Darby. This podcast is the raw truth about grief, spirit, life, and life with honesty, humor, and no bullshit. So we'll see you next time for episode 4.